Weighing in at 313 tons, this abnormal load is going to be a mammoth task. With its slender hull and extreme length, balancing this on the trailer without doing damage to the ship's body will be a precise and delicate engineering skill. The responsibility for the design falls on the shoulders of this man.
I'm Christian Ituze, project engineer at LA Heavy Lift. Basically, it entails finding the most feasible solution for the client in terms of logistics, the route survey, what's physically possible to sort of navigate this route, and economically, what sort of solution can we provide them that sort of beats our competitors.
It's a distance of only 4 kilometers to their delivery point at the dry dock, but will require hours of effort. The boat's uneven distribution of weight means this is a delicate balancing act. The jack is then raised in intervals of 200 millimeters to allow the team to pack wooden blocks underneath the tracks for stability and support. It's slow and painstaking work that can take several hours, but vitally important for the safe movement of the load. The rigging team are ready to start jacking up the vessel. The big jacks are lowered into place, and now the team take it in turns to block and tackle or ratchet the jacks into their final, precise position. With all 4 jacks placed and supported, Luke raises the load. Mark prepares to bring in his self-propelled trailer. This piece of machinery is going to transport the patrol vessel from shipyard to dry dock.
If the payload was not positioned correctly on the trailer, that would mean that each axle is deviating from what we planned. If the payload had been a bit too forward, the wheels start spinning, the payload does not move. If they're too rear, you overload that group, so you need to get that just right. Place it in a good sweet spot.
Transport's ready to go. Let's get the show on the road, boys. Back her up. Luke, remember those tracks? Yes, sir.
So the nose is going to go over the railroad tracks. It's almost on 60 meters long, the vessel. So it's going to be very tight. We might have to do maybe 3 turns. Space is going to be pretty tight. So we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled more, especially going around corners and all of that. And a lot slower, maybe.
Here we go, let's keep it peeled.
The load inches out of the shed. Mark has to keep right to avoid the railway tracks, but without making contact with the shed doors on his left.
What's your 20 on those doors?
The first attempt halts. The load won't make it out of the shed doors at this angle. They back it up.
Let's keep it going back, let's keep it going back. What's your 20 on those doors? I need a 20 on that curve. I don't want to bottom out here. Mark, let's do that again.
Mark launches a second attempt.
What's your line, Mark? What's your line? Looking good. And let's hop there. Still not, Mark. Still not. One more attempt.
Again, the angle is too acute. This is costing the team valuable time. They have to reach the intersection before 7 a.m.
Good, Mark.
The third attempt works. The team are free to move on to reach their destination.
I always make double sure about that. It's better to take 5 minutes for checking than taking 5 years for explaining.
Transport that we're headed onto Duncan Road. We're looking good for destination. Keep an eye out for obstruction. Copy that.
Cape Town's roads are at a standstill while many stop to look. It's not every day you see a boat moving on wheels, and the traffic cops have their hands full.
The spectatorship that the boat produces, having people actually see vessels of this magnitude that has been produced by Darwin out on the road, that's quite a spectacular moment.
The ship makes slow but steady progress. Ahead, it has to get through a portion of private property that's under construction. It's going to be a tight squeeze through these gates and onto the intersection on the other side. There's very little clearance for this enormous load to pilot through, and he's got to make it through before 7 a.m. when the traffic volume starts to build up.
Give me a 20 on the nose. You're good, keep going. I need eyes on the starboard deck. Starboard deck. Slow your speed. I've got little room here.
The vessel squeaks through. Next up, the final challenge, getting through an intersection. To get to this point has taken months of planning.
Things change. Just to give an example, the previous FCS had a whole roundabout as you're approaching this the sinker lift. That changed. So even though we had the same transport combination, but the route survey needed to be redone just to accommodate for these changes and see if the concept we provided is still feasible for the intended route.
The team reach the intersection and discover that the traffic lights haven't been removed. They have to get through to the dry dock before 7 a.m. and are running out of time. If the space isn't cleared, they may be stuck on the wrong side of the road for hours. A team get to work to remove the traffic lights. They're on borrowed time as the traffic starts to build up behind them.
How long is it going to take? We're just waiting on those traffic lights. ETA? 5 minutes. In the meantime, let's make sure that gate at dry dock is open. Christian's on it.
The team get the police go-ahead to cross the road. It's now a whole other challenge for Mark to get the patrol vessel into the dry dock.
Keep it straight there.
With the traffic lights removed, the patrol vessel can proceed smoothly.
Traffic is stopped.
But with backed up traffic and very little margin for error, it's no easy passage for Mark and the team.
What's that nose? I've got no eyes on that nose. Nose is fine, over. My starboard side? Looking good, over. Keep it coming. What's your line, Mark? Your bearing? Eyes on starboard. How am I doing there? Got space, over. What's your port side?
But his experience pays off,
Got it.
and the patrol vessel is through the last of its obstacles and into the dry dock.
Through, Mark. You're through. Nice job.
So what's going to happen now, we'll align it to the center line of these bogies. We'll jack it up to remove our trailer. Then these bogies will slide underneath the payload. We'll load it onto the cradles and then wish it off. Then they'll start the whole process of commissioning it and launching it down.